Coming up in this episode of 1914 Excelsior, I unscrew a shitload of screws. Okay, first things first, we're going to attack the decompression issue, the fact that it's not working off of the intricate linkage from the throttle that activates both the decompression lever and the throttle off the carburetor. So we need to remove this cover. That will expose what's in here, and we'll find out why this isn't working. Some people call this the timing chest. Some people call it the timing cover. Some people call it a cam cover. I mean, tomato, tomato. We could call the whole thing off right now, but I say we take this cover off and find out what's inside there. Let's do this. Before pulling the cover, what I'm going to also do is take the push rod off, pull it off of the rocker so I can pull it out of this bottom cup of the cam follower. That will allow me to pull this cover straight off without, distorting or bending anything. So I'm going to do that next here. Okay. Well, I say we take a look. Okay, now that we have the cover off, we can see that all the parts are here, and that's good news. So basically you can see this lever here is connected to the shaft, which activates this small cam lobe, which then pushes up against the backside of the cam follower for the exhaust valve. And then so when we would activate it like that, it would push up and then open the exhaust valve, and then we would be in decompression mode. So that's good news that everything is here. So, good news. Another thing, after I got the cover open, I was very surprised to see a phenolic gear driving the Bosch ZE1 Mag on this guy. And it just surprised me. I thought it would be a metal gear. But I found out that through some research that all the early Bosch magnetos and even the very early Magneti Marelli magnetos that came into play in the late teens and early 20s, they all used phenolic gears to drive them, and the only reason was to reduce noise off the gear train, which is surprising but very interesting. Okay, when we had the cover off, we did establish that all the pieces here for the decompression system internally are there. So, basically what that tells us is we're out of adjustment here somewhere on this linkage system. So what I did is I brought this clevis end out about 6 turns or so, and it is activating the decompression system at this point. So we know it's just a matter of getting all of this adjusted properly, and that should do the trick. All right, so just a couple other things that are making me absolutely crazy. These modern clevis rod ends. There's one here and one back here. That's part of that linkage system. These just do not look the part. So I'm going to make some new clevis ends that look like the ones that are correct on the bike. So I'm gonna take you over to the inspection stand. I'll take off one of the good clevis ends so you can see, or the original clevis ends so you can see what they look like, and then we'll get at making those. Now, before we put the decompression system back together and try and get it adjusted so it all works right, another thing that's just making me crazy is this bit. So this pivot, part of that intricate system, you can see was made at some point, and it is of not quality. So I have found some photographs online and also a video from Dale's Wheels Through Time that shows this in some detail. So I know what it's supposed to look like. The video is actually from a 1912 V-twin, but it's the system is almost identical. They just kind of duplicate things. So I know what this is supposed to look like. And what I'm going to do is remake this as well, and try and make a reasonable facsimile of what it should look like stock. This one is just, there's a lot of reasons why, but it's just not right. So I can fix this. Then, knowing somewhat what the design is like, I can also get rid of the lock nut, which will make me feel so much better. So let's get at that. Okay, so just to review the things that we need to fabricate for the decompression linkage system. So we're going to be making 3 facsimiles of this. This is one of the original clevis rod ends. We're making a total of 3 of these, 2 of which we're going to replace these 2 clevis rod ends that are on the bike currently, and clearly those are incorrect and don't look the part at all. And then the third one that we make is going to replace this piece. This is also incorrect. It should have one of these types of clevis rod ends on it. And this is actually from much further upstream on the handlebars, one of the pivots up there. So we're going to take this off and replace it with one of the clevis rod ends that I make that looks more like this. And then again, we're also going to fabricate a new one of these pivot arms that is going to look much more stock. And so that should do it. So we have some interesting stuff to look forward to on the next episode of 1914 Excelsior. We'll see you then.